Set up for afterwards, yeah? We'll just go straight in there afterwards. Good afternoon, everyone. Good to see you all. Thank you very much for coming. Usual drill with our press conference. We'll start off with Sky, straight on to PLP. Anyone else under immediate embargo to go at that point. Due to other commitments, we're only going to do one embargoed section today, which is for the Saturday newspapers. So anything for earlier than that needs to be in the unembargoed section. But we will do an embargoed section 10:30 p.m. Friday for the Saturday papers. Anyone who needs that, and we'll discuss that at the time. Camera happy? Go when you're ready, Dan.
Thomas, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, yeah, not too bad, thanks. Obviously, first of all, congratulations on the win against Luton last weekend. The only team to beat Luton at home by more than one goal so far this season. Players coming back now, sort of showing what Brentford are really capable of now, really made of.
Hopefully. Speaking about it, early this season has been a tough season. Every seasons are tough in the Premier League, no matter where you are in the table and how you're performing. But this particularly, I think, been a little bit more with all the injuries and things definitely not going our way. But it was a big positive performance. I think actually I said to the players Monday that I think it was like a statement win in many ways. There's been a few over the years, but important game, and we not only won it. It was the way we performed throughout the game. I felt that we were in complete control. We gave nothing away. All the threat we know that Luton can throw at us, we controlled, and we were such a threat going forward. So extremely satisfied with that performance.
Brentford's biggest win in the Premier League as well. I'm sure you're sick of talking about Ivan Toney's future, but the forward line looked so good that day. Do you think we're sort of starting to see a glimpse of what a post Ivan Toney Brentford might look like?
Yeah, potentially. As you say, let's see what's happening with Ivan. Right now, he's a Brentford player, but I think it's important to see the quality we have in the squad. I think Keenan, Potter, Wissa, and Bryan look very good, and we still have a Kevin Chiara that came off the bench that he's still progressing, growing into fully fitness. So I think it was promising.
Without sort of, I'm sure you don't want to single people out, but obviously Bryan was out for 3 months or so, back now in the squad, obviously looking good. How crucial is it to have someone of his influence back in the team? I
think the big thing is we knew that we were that we will miss Ivan big part of the season, and that was of course a big loss. But I was confident when I went into the season that we also didn't bought another striker. We got Neil on loan, of course, to help the squad, and I knew that the players in the squad were good enough and they could do the job. But of course, if you then take the next in line, that is our go-to guy, Bryan Mbuemo, out of the equation, then it gets tricky. So I think he's been a big miss, and I think he was back to his normal high level.
Ivan's obviously been struggling with this hip injury. Have you got any update on sort of where he's at with that at the moment?
Progressing better. I got a hope that he's available for a qualified hope that he's available for Saturday. Still want more training. So let's see.
And finally, we're asking sort of Premier League managers ahead of this weekend. Nottingham Forest obviously outwardly criticised the PGMOL earlier this week after the game against Everton. Just wondered sort of what you thought of that situation.
I think it's difficult not to have seen or heard about it. It was all over the news. I think a couple of things. Again, the referees, everyone from the assistant referees to the main ref, to the fourth official, to the guys in the VAR room, they try everything they can to put a perfect performance in every single time. There's so many 50-50 situations in a football match. It's so difficult to get it right. You're more than welcome to come with a whistle and try to ref the small side we had. today. There's a lot of moaning and complaining, and then on a highly pressurized Premier League game, it's very difficult. They do everything they can to try to do it well. Human beings, they make mistakes. And even if they don't make mistakes, then it's a 50-50, and you think it's wrong, we think they make a mistake. So I think it's important to have that in mind. They do everything they can, and they want to do their best to do it right. So it's just so difficult for them. Of course, they need to improve, like all of us do, and I'm pretty sure they work very hard on that. Also pretty sure that Chris never would have allowed anyone from our club to put a statement out like they did.
Awesome. Thanks, Thomas.
Welcome.
Hi,
Alex.
Thomas.
Hi.
Apart from Ivan being a doubt still, is there any other new team news? Any new injuries?
No. But that's a positive. That's a positive. Yeah, I just had to think. Yeah, no, it's positive. So everyone should be available again.
Good. Did you watch Everton last night?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
What did you make of their performance?
I thought Everton were good, I must say. Very impressive. I think actually Everton has been consistently quite good throughout the season. They're very good to make it difficult for teams. They're very good defending. They're such a threat on set pieces, on crosses, on the counters. Bring great intensity into every game. I know at Goodison it's going to be difficult. So looking forward to the match, but they look really good.
Off-field matters have obviously affected Everton this season. What can you say about where Sean Dyche has kept his team together?
Sean, I know very well. I met him quite a few times, and he's a great person. And I think he's I don't think he's underrated. And I think he's a very experienced Premier League manager, and he's done a top job the clubs he's been at, and now at Everton. And I think is clearly shine through, in my opinion, his influence on the Everton team in some challenging moments last season and this season, managed to get the team to pull in the right direction and create a strong team. I think that's very clear. So I think him and his coaching staff have done a brilliant job.
Feels like you've got some good momentum going now. Are you already thinking about next season and carrying this momentum into the new season?
Yeah, definitely thinking about carrying the momentum into next season. I really want to do everything we can to finish on a high. There's been actually quite a few good performances, also very good performances where we didn't get a point or won the game. But I really would like to, and it's one game at a time, but perform very well in the last 4 games, starting with this game on Saturday against Everton, and hopefully also get a good result, because I think can we carry that momentum into the summer and into next season, I think that will mean a lot.
Is there a feeling of what could have been this season, fine margins? Few less injuries.
Yeah, I think there's two. I think we just got a big reminder of how football can be and how brutal it can be, and that this league is the best and the most ruthless in the world. But also that the more calm, composed, focused on what we can do, the better, and then we still manage to get out of tricky situations. Also would say I think every team get injuries, but if you just got that minimum of injuries that you actually could hope for, I think it could have been a very, very interesting season. But hey, we don't know, and we need to focus on what we can affect. And what I can affect is to try to make sure that the team do very well on Saturday.
Do you still view staying in the Premier League as success for Brentford?
I think I said it many times before. I think there's the top 6, classic top 6. Then we have Newcastle. Then we have Villa, potentially Brighton. But these 7 to 9 clubs are very difficult to break through to end higher. So the rest of us, we're fighting for a position between 8th and 17th. In a very good season, we can be almost up there like we were last year. In a bad season where it's not going the way you wanted, injuries or luck or whatever, then if you finish 17th or 16th or 15th or whatever, then it's still success. I think it's quite clear. I think last year was some stats out that we had the second lowest budget, or lowest budget last year. Lowest budget last year. Lowest budget. And we finished 9. This season, I think we are still second lowest, third lowest. So we are outperforming a lot. We still have high ambitions and we want to do even better. So I think a minimum criteria is like success, tick, to be in the league. But we want more than that. I said that. I think it can never be enough just to, we stayed in the league. Because over time you will lose the hunger, the determination. You need to constantly develop.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anyone else? Ruben?
Thomas, considering some of the obstacles you faced this season, you managed to keep the club above water, if you like, when some other clubs might have sank. How much credit do you want to give the club for the collective effort involved this season?
I think a lot. I think that everyone, players, staff, the leadership above me have done a top job in terms of keeping everyone together and being calm, stick to the plan, and I think that's a big part of it.
You mentioned the set pieces of Everton. How much can they hurt you in that area? I mean, they were really physical last night. Is that an area you can't really neglect going into the match? No. I think every game there's set pieces in, and if you win that battle, you are one step ahead of the opponent. Everton is very good at that, both boxes. But I think we're very good at it as well, both boxes. So it's a battle we would like to win. There's also a lot of other battles on the pitch we need to win to try to win the match. But we will be prepared for the set pieces. You're welcome.
Hey Thomas, I'm Anas from Sports Gazette. So it was a difficult loss against Burnley in the middle of March, and that was 5 losses in 6 games. But after that, the international break, and since then, unbeaten in 5 games, the biggest Premier League win last weekend, and now you're pretty much guaranteed safety. What do you think clicked during that international break? What changed?
To be honest, I don't think too many things changed. I think before that we had some actually good performances, 4 or 5 good performances. I think we had Chelsea definitely at home, Arsenal away, was one more I can't remember. And even Burnley that we lost the game, but we were 10 against 11 for almost 90 minutes or something like that. And the effort the boys put in was very, very fantastic. And then I think we've been consistent in our messages, in the way we train, in the way we do things, focused on the next game. And then if we have, because we perform quite consistently well over time, then suddenly we just got the points and then just got maybe that little bit more momentum, a little bit more belief. So I think that was it.
Right. And Thomas, this weekend you might guarantee safety. And it's been a difficult season for many reasons. What would this achievement mean compared to your achievement from the last couple of seasons?
I think it's more fun to talk about a fantastic season like last season, but I think it's just, as I said before, it's just that fantastic reminder about this league. You could take nothing for granted. You need to be focused, well prepared, work hard, try to develop every day, every week, play every game the same way. And I think that's the learning. Not that we do that, and I think that's why on a season or in a season with all these injuries and all the luck against us on that aspect, but also actually. Sometimes you get a season where everything going inside of the post instead of outside the post, that also you get that margin with you. So we have a season where it's not been our way, I would say, and then still be in it, and we, as Brentford, with the budget we have, are going into the 4th season in the Premier League is remarkable.
Thanks, Thomas.
You're welcome.
We've got Sam and then Dom.
So 10 points clear, injuries clearing up. I mean, it really does feel like the narrative's changed quite a lot. Do you feel a sort of pressure lifting a little bit, especially after that win at Luton?
Of course, I knew that it was if we were winning against Luton, it would be 10 points. If we lost, it would be 4 points, and probably a different conversation we would have today. So probably less talk about, not internally, we never talked about it. I've just spoken about the next game. What can we do? Try to win it. Okay, high pressure, low pressure, whatever, play around them, control the game. But I think it's more the noise from the outside and everyone speaking that is less. So yeah, probably a little bit, yeah.
No, I completely agree about the external noise, because it's sort of allowed for us to focus on players more so. So I mean, Sharda's coming back from injury. Keane Potter's now sort of playing in his preferred position. Just how sort of important and how much sort of joy have you taken from the fact that you're finally getting to work with these players?
I think that's really enjoyable. That now we are looking to put a team out there that is stronger and stronger. We still have very good options from the bench. We can really do something in games where we can change things around, and I think that's promising. And as I said before, I had a good feeling when I went into the Luton game. Very good feeling. Of course, I couldn't predict that it was such a good performance, and we performed the way we did. But it's promising.
And then someone who really excelled against Luton was Pinnock, obviously returning from injury. Who just sort of a monster in the air, really. As it's been touched on, that's going to be another important factor tomorrow, Saturday even. Just how important is his return, and how important is the defending of set pieces going to be?
Ethan, big key to our success the last 4 or 5 seasons. I don't know how long he's been here. And also this season now, him in, boom, suddenly even more solid at the back. And of course in every game, but especially this game against Everton, he's key for set pieces, no doubt about that.
And yesterday, obviously Everton played. Their second goal in particular, I noticed that Calvert-Lewin's got a free run because Tarkowski's gone and made an intentional block on the Liverpool defenders. Is that something that you've looked at?
Yeah. We look at that. Just like for any game, we look at all the set pieces. Of course, it stands out. The second goal they scored, Everton. What Everton do is very, very good, very efficient, and they are very clear on what they want to do. So I would say we haven't prepared more for, or are not preparing more for Everton than we did for Luton on set pieces. It's the same every week. So yeah.
And is that also something that you learned from Tarkowski's goal in the reverse fixture? Again, the sort of free run on a corner for the second goal it was.
Yeah, it was not supposed to be a free run. So there was a few bits we had to learn from that goal. But we definitely need to win that battle, no doubt about that.
And then finally, I just wanted to touch on Paris Maghoma. He won the Young Player of the Year award for Bolton last Sunday. Just how impressive has he been, and what does his future sort of hold? Because that midfield is quite congested. Yeah. We have a good midfield and quite a good few players, but no doubt that Paris is a player we are following, and I like the way he plays. He's had a very good season at Bolton. Showed that he also played that higher 8 and got fantastic technical abilities, and now also adding goals. So I like the performances put out there, and looking forward to speak to him when he come back in after the playoff run from Bolton. Perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Tom.
Hi Thomas. Last week you were asked about a report that Ivan Toney could be available in the summer for as little as 30 to 40 million pounds, and you said that was going to be a bit too cheap and a bit too much of a bargain. But earlier in the season, when he wasn't playing, and then when he did come back and was scoring straight away, there were reports that he might be worth 80 million, 100 million. But since then, obviously, he had 8 games where he didn't score. And out the last 2 games, he can't help that. But does there need to be potentially some realism that maybe his value has decreased in that time?
should probably ask Phil or Matthew about that, because they'll be even better to answer that question. And I'm pretty sure the answer will be there's no price. I think that it's all about the narrative. If you score 5 goals in 5 games, then suddenly your price is through the roof. And there's all sort of timing, but the only thing I know is that you can say other players, other strikers, if you know if they performed consistently over time, then some years they score 20, 22 goals, but sometimes they score 13. But if they know they perform well, then there is a good price. I just know that Ivan is a good player. He's proven that many times. Last season was fantastic. Got his full England debut for England. Was fantastic. Proved they can play with top players. So I think he's a very good player.
If 8 games without a goal has impacted his value, does that show maybe that the volatility of football finances these days, how quickly and on such little evidence things can change like that?
But we don't know.
Do you not suspect that you might not be able to command the sort of price that you would be able to in January?
But we know all the prices you're talking about. There's nothing come from us. You agree on that? Yes. I don't know if you put the prices out there.
It's not me.
No. I'm just saying that there's a lot of prices out there, high, low, medium, and I need to answer questions about that we haven't put any figure out there at all. So in terms of the what were you used for?
Well, so does it just show that football finances are quite volatile?
Yeah, they're volatile. Yeah. But I hope there's no clubs that are. Probably seems to be a few clubs that are basing their finances on big transfers, and then suddenly they're not getting them, and then there's a FFP problem. We're not a club like that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else before we go under embargo? Yes, Jay.
Me, that's okay. Good to see you again, Thomas. Just wanted an update on Aaron Hickey's chances of playing again this season.
That's a good question. He's progressing. Because he's been out for so long, I'm not counting on it. But let's see what will happen in the next couple of weeks. But right now, I'm not expecting him.
How will that impact his chances of playing for Scotland at the Euros? It's only a couple of weeks away.
Very good question. I guess it's not fantastic, but that's not for me to judge.
Yeah. Sorry, you mentioned small-sided game earlier, very competitive. Just wanted to know, did Ivan take part in that?
Yes.
And how did he perform?
And he scored goals. Yeah.
I also just wanted to ask you, how is Ivan feeling missing these last few games? Obviously, there's something called the Euros coming up. He's been very public about wanting to play in that. How's he feeling knowing that he wants to get into that team and he's not been able to show his talent on the pitch?
I think first and foremost, Ivan just loves to play football. So we just want to play and get out there. Every game he's missing, he hates that. All footballers have that same feeling. And then, of course, there's a Euros coming up that's important as well. So, but he's also aware that it's important to be fit to go on and perform. So there's plenty of games.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Right, so we're now going to